Lao Tzu states, "Therefore the sage manages affairs without action and conveys his doctrine without words." Let's delve deeper into this. A wise person manages affairs without action. If a wise person says, "I love you," they simultaneously give rise to hatred. If they claim to work for the benefit of others, they also create harm. If they assert, "What I give you is truth," they simultaneously birth falsehood. Lao Tzu previously stated that everything is filled with duality. Whatever we do, its opposite will immediately manifest. There is no escaping the opposite. The moment we act, we become the creators of the opposite. If we protect someone, we harm another. If we save someone, we become the cause of someone else's destruction. If duality is the essence of life, whatever we do will immediately create its opposite, whether we realize it or not, whether anyone recognizes it or not. It is impossible to create one thing without creating its reverse. This is why Lao Tzu says that the wise manage affairs without action. If they wish for your well-being, they do not actively strive for it. If they did, it would also lead to your misfortune. This is a difficult and profound concept. Usually, we think that if we want to bring someone well-being, we must act. If we want to serve someone, we must do something. But the principle Lao Tzu is explaining is that when we serve, we also create a mechanism of enslavement. When we love, we also set up the conditions for hatred. The moment love is expressed, hatred is born. The moment service becomes action, it can turn into hostility. What then will the wise do? Will they not love? Will they not wish for well-being? Will they not yearn to serve? If they are truly wise, Lao Tzu says, they manage affairs without action. Even if they love, their love will not manifest as action. Their love will not even be given words. They will not say, "I love you," because saying it already draws a boundary of hatred around those words. When I say "I love you," it implies that earlier I did not love, and there are conditions under which I may stop loving. Words are never truly unconditional. When I say "I love you," I also acknowledge that yesterday I might not have, and tomorrow I may not. This tiny island of love is surrounded by a vast ocean of non-love. In truth, the declaration is made only to distinguish it from the surrounding darkness. When I light a lamp, it is to contrast the surrounding darkness, which only becomes more apparent and solidified by the light. Lao Tzu says that if a wise person loves, they will not be active, not even enough to say "I love you." Their love will be inactive, a non-action. Their love will not be a declaration, but an existence. Their love will not be a statement, but their very being. They will be love itself. Therefore, it would not be appropriate for them to say "I love you." Someone who has hatred might say it, but someone who is love itself cannot. They will not undertake actions that demonstrate love. Their love will be a silent expression, a void expression. Their love will be a presence, unannounced, unadvertised, wordless, inactive. The real wonder is that such love does not create its opposite, does not generate hatred, because that which is not active does not enter the realm of duality. Such love is only love, and such love never ends, because what did not begin in the stream of time cannot end in it. However, recognizing such love is extremely difficult. We understand words and actions. If someone says "I love you," we comprehend. If someone performs an act of love, we understand. But if love is inactive, unexpressed, undeclared, it might not even enter our thoughts. We might think it doesn't exist. This is why true lovers have often not been recognized on this earth. Jesus was passing through a village and rested under a tree. That tree belonged to Magdalene, one of the greatest courtesans of that era. She saw Jesus through her window just as he was about to leave after resting. She had seen many people, but never someone as beautiful as him. There is a beauty of the body which fades with familiarity, and a beauty of the soul which deepens with understanding. There is a beauty of form and a beauty of existence. Magdalene had seen many beautiful people. She herself was among the most beautiful women. Even emperors knocked at her door, and not all of them were always allowed entry. Seeing Jesus, she was enchanted. She came out of her house, stopped the young man, and invited him to be her guest. Jesus said, "My rest is already complete. Someday when I am tired again on your path, I will not rest under the tree but come inside. But now it is time for me to go." For Magdalene, this was a great insult. She could not imagine that a young man, seemingly a beggar, would not be stunned by her presence. Great emperors lost their senses upon seeing her. Yet Jesus picked up his bag and was ready to leave. Magdalene said, "Young man, this is insulting. This is the first time I have invited someone. Can you not show me this little bit of love by staying for just a few moments in my home?" Jesus said, "Think again about those who come to show you love. Have they ever truly loved you? Those who expressed it, did they ever love? I am the only one who can truly love. But now, it is time for me to go." Magdalene might not have understood what Jesus meant when he said, "I am the only one who can love, but now it is time for me to go." For centuries, people have contemplated the meaning of this statement. What did Jesus mean by saying he alone could love? If that was the case, then love should have been expressed. But this statement was entirely impersonal. Jesus did not say, "Magdalene, I love you." Instead, he said, "I am the only one who can love." It was not a personal declaration, but a profound indication. And if there was love, why not show it through a simple action, like entering her house? What kind of love was this? Jesus never rested under that tree again, nor did he visit Magdalene's house. He never had the chance to pass that way again. His statement, "I am the only one who can love," never turned into an action or a declaration toward an individual. But what did it mean? Understanding Lao Tzu might bring some clarity. However, Lao Tzu might not have even said, "I am the only one who can love." He might not have said anything at all, because even saying this much is too much. Even in saying it, a form is given, a shape is made. The words themselves enter the flow of time. Lao Tzu would have simply walked away without answering. Because Lao Tzu teaches that the moment we express something, its opposite is instantly created. Just as when I speak and an echo reverberates from the mountains, in the same way, here love arises, and there, hatred begins to gather. Compassion here, and layers of cruelty begin to form there. Non-violence here, and violence starts to take residence there. Whatever we do, we cannot escape the opposite. This is why a unique phenomenon occurs. Those we love often become the source of our pain. Whoever loves will experience suffering from the very person they love. Love should not bring suffering, but the moment love is expressed, it creates non-love. And suffering comes from non-love. Lao Tzu says that those who are wise, who know the secret that in existence, creating anything will give birth to its opposite, that there is no way to avoid this, that this is the law. What will they do then? The wise ones create order without action. The sage conveys his doctrine without words. The truly wise express their philosophy without speech, reveal their personality without action, and share their vision without words. This concept requires deep reflection. There has never been a wise person who did not use words. Yet Lao Tzu says the wise never express their philosophy through words. This could mean two things. First, it could mean that those who have spoken were not truly wise, and those who were truly wise remain unknown. This would exclude even Buddha, Jesus, Krishna from the list of the wise. The second interpretation, which is more accurate, is that whatever Buddha said did not contain his true philosophy. His spoken words were not the essence. He spoke not to convey the truth directly, but to draw people closer, to those who could only understand words. His speech was merely a device, a way to invite those who needed words to come near. Once they were close, he could communicate with them without words. This needs to be understood clearly. Truth cannot be spoken. The moment it is spoken, truth gives birth to falsehood. As soon as a philosophy is spoken, it becomes a debate. All philosophies become arguments once expressed. And where there is an argument, a counter-argument arises. Conflict, sects, doctrines, and all the chaos of ideologies emerge. It would not make sense for the truth to create dispute. But truth has never been spoken, nor can it be. What is spoken is merely a lure, a way to invite those who understand only words. Once they come closer, the real communication can happen in silence. Speaking is merely a temptation, like how we give children sweets to bring them to school, or offer toys to draw them in. Initially, in nursery school, it is all about toys and play, not about education. The colorful pictures in children's books are more of an attraction than the lessons themselves. Over time, the colors fade, and gradually the toys disappear. Just as the true wise ones like Buddha or Lao Tzu begin to speak less and remain silent when the right students are near. Those who came for words may one day find themselves receiving the message of silence. The wise ones never truly said anything, despite saying much. They explained from morning to evening, yet the truth was never spoken. The truth was only imparted when the listener became silent and receptive. The real transmission always happened in silence. However, what we collect are the spoken words, not the silent truth. This is why scriptures fail to capture the real essence. What was recorded was only the outer form, not the true substance. Imagine preserving a school's memory by saving only the toys and games, believing that these were the essence of education. The toys were not the lesson. They were only invitations to draw the children closer. In the same way, what Buddha, Krishna, Lao Tzu said was just an invitation. What they truly conveyed was beyond words, the unspoken, the silence, the presence. These cannot be captured in scriptures. The living stream of truth that flowed from one being to another remains beyond written words. For thousands of years, sages insisted that nothing should be written down. The Vedas, for example, existed for at least 90,000 years before being written, even though the people who conceived such profound thoughts were surely capable of writing. There was a strong resistance to writing because the written word would miss the true essence, which could only be transmitted directly from person to person. A living teacher could give not only words, but also the silent presence. A book, however, can only offer words. It becomes a dead object, accessible even to those who do not understand its depth. Books in the hands of the ignorant can create a dangerous illusion of wisdom. It is not dangerous to be ignorant, but to believe oneself wise while still ignorant is a grave danger. It closes the doors to true knowledge. Therefore, for thousands of years, the wise maintained that nothing should be written. Those who knew passed their wisdom directly to those who were ready to receive it. Words were used only until the student became capable of understanding silence. And until a person could grasp silence, it had to be made clear that nothing real had yet been said to them. They had only heard the surface talk, not the essence. The day books began to be written, wisdom began to diminish while information increased. When printing began, the situation worsened. Written books were already limited in reach, but printed books had no boundaries. The vital, living transmission that could only happen through direct contact with a wise person gradually started to fade away. In the times Lao Tzu refers to, wise beings conveyed their philosophy in silence. As we delve into this, it becomes clear that the further back in time we go, the less emphasis there was on scholarly knowledge. True practice was about cultivating silence, while scholarship is about filling oneself with words. When Buddha left his home, he sought out everyone who might know the ultimate truth. He asked them to share this truth if they knew it. Remarkable were those who admitted they did not know the ultimate truth, but only the truth of scriptures. They offered to teach him the scriptures, but Buddha refused, saying he sought the truth itself, not merely its textual representation. Those who truly had nothing to offer sent him onward. For 3 years, Buddha practiced under a teacher, fulfilling every instruction with utmost dedication. When there was nothing left to learn, he asked, "Is there more to do? Have I made any mistakes?" The teacher affirmed he had done everything correctly. Buddha then said, "But I still haven't realized the ultimate truth." The teacher confessed, "I too do not know the ultimate truth. You must find another guide." Buddha repeated this cycle for 6 years, learning from everyone who had something to teach, never questioning until the very end. The real question was not whether the ultimate truth lay with others, but whether Buddha had prepared himself to receive it. This readiness was why he only asked after completing his practice, ensuring he had the capacity to ask the question meaningfully. Only when his teachers had nothing more to teach did he reveal that he still sought the truth. They, in turn, acknowledged their limitations and guided him elsewhere. Buddha wandered from teacher to teacher, scholar to scholar, yet the truth remained elusive. Finally, he set out on his solitary journey. However, before choosing the path of solitude, he had explored every possible avenue with others. This exploration is crucial, as only one who has walked alongside others can truly undertake a solitary path. There is wisdom in walking as far as possible with those who know before venturing alone. When Buddha eventually realized the ultimate truth, he acknowledged that none of his teachers had hidden anything from him. The truth was simply of a nature that no one else could give it to him, and he, too, could not receive it from another, as his capacity for silence had not yet matured. He had always asked through words, and they had always responded with words. True wisdom, however, is only communicated through profound silence, where neither words nor conventional questions exist. Lao Tzu says, "The wise neither act nor do they remain inactive." This does not mean they are lazy or idle. The meaning is much deeper. The wise bring order through non-action. True action is not about doing, but about being. A father, if truly revered, brings order merely by his presence. He does not need to raise his voice or give commands. His entry into the room naturally instills discipline and order. His mere being is enough to create harmony. A slightly weaker father might need to gesture with his eyes to maintain order, yet he too holds considerable power. Weaker still is the father who must verbally instruct his children to behave, and weaker yet is the one who repeats himself endlessly with little to no effect. This analogy extends to the enlightened. A wise person brings order through their mere presence, without deliberate action. Action becomes necessary only when wisdom is lacking. The ultimate teaching of the wise is through their being, not through their words. They use words only as a lure, a way to draw those who can understand nothing else. When these seekers come close enough, the true teaching happens in silence. The spoken words are like colorful pictures in children's books, mere attractions to draw them in. Once they are drawn in, the pictures gradually disappear, leaving only the essence. Those who arrived seeking words might one day depart with the profound message of silence. In the ancient days, Lao Tzu speaks of wise individuals conveyed their philosophy through silence. The further back we go in history, the more we find that true practice was not about scholarly knowledge, but about cultivating silence. Practice is about becoming silent, while scholarship is about filling oneself with words. Lao Tzu explains that the wise do not act in the conventional sense. Their inaction does not mean they are inactive or lazy. Instead, they bring order through non-action. A true father, for example, does not need to enforce discipline. His mere presence creates an environment of order. A weaker father might need to use gestures or words, but the most powerful presence is one that brings harmony without any outward action. The further back we go in history, the more we find wise men living in solitude, their mere presence bringing order to the world. Kings would seek them out, desiring only for them to remain in their kingdom, not for what they did, but simply for who they were. As history progressed, however, wisdom began to be measured by deeds and actions. Today, a wise person is expected to engage in social work, run hospitals, or lead movements. True wisdom, however, is not about what one does, but about what one is. Lao Tzu suggests that when a being is truly enlightened, their mere presence is enough to bring transformation. Like a magnet that does not need to act to draw iron, a wise person's existence itself creates change. Buddha's presence would halt theft and violence, not through preaching, but through his silent influence. If mere presence cannot bring change, then actions or words will not succeed either. Lao Tzu argues that being is greater than doing. The core of one's being, if truly enlightened, will naturally radiate influence without effort. The wise arrange their actions through non-action and express their philosophy through silence. What they know is shared through silence, and what they live is spread through their presence. Lao Tzu himself disappeared without a trace. No one knows when or where he died. It is said that when someone asked him where he was going, he simply replied, "Where I came from." He explained that when he was born, he was ignorant and his birth made a noise in the world. But now, being wise, his departure would make no sound. His life would end without leaving a trace, like a bird flying through the sky without footprints. This is the essence of true wisdom: living quietly, departing quietly, and leaving behind not noise, but a silent, lasting impact. A true sage manages affairs without taking action. This phrase is challenging to convey accurately in language, as it might imply that the sage is actively managing. In reality, it is not that the sage manages affairs. Rather, affairs are managed in his presence without deliberate action. The sage does not consciously organize things. Instead, things align naturally around him. This happens not through effort, but through the dissolution of the ego. When the sense of I disappears, the illusion of doing also fades. The ego constantly associates itself with actions, claiming ownership even of those processes it does not control, like breathing, aging, or healing. However, for the enlightened one, every action becomes an expression of the divine, and nothing is truly his doing. When the sage reaches this state of non-doing, he becomes a mere instrument of the divine. The divine energy flows through him, making him a medium for its will. He neither resists nor initiates, he simply allows existence to unfold through him. This is why the sages of the Upanishads did not attach their names to their teachings. They did not see themselves as the authors of those truths, but as channels through which the divine spoke. The Vedas are called aparushaya, meaning not of human origin, not because God physically wrote them, but because those who revealed them had no ego left. They genuinely believed that it was not their voice but the divine itself expressing through them. In this state of egolessness, even actions and teachings are not consciously done. Lao Tzu still walked, ate, slept, and spoke. If someone asked him for guidance, he would offer it. But he never fell into the illusion that he was actively managing the world or fulfilling a purpose. He described his actions like those of a dry leaf in the wind, moving wherever the breeze took it. If the wind lifted him to the skies, he did not become arrogant, and if it dropped him to the ground, he did not lament. He had no preference, no desire to go east or west, up or down. He was simply a witness to the journey, without resistance or attachment. For Lao Tzu, everything that happened was not done by him, but rather happened through him. He did not seek any outcome, nor did he measure his success by how others responded to him. If someone understood his message, good. If not, that was also fine. He was not trying to convince anyone of anything. He was like the sun that rises each day. Some flowers bloom, others do not. The sun does not take credit for the blossoming, nor bear responsibility for those that remain closed. It simply shines, and the flowers respond according to their nature. Likewise, Lao Tzu's presence alone was enough for transformation to happen around him. Those ready to receive found guidance, and those who needed order found it merely by being near him. His actions were not deliberate, and his words were not forced. He did not seek to convert or convince anyone. He did not travel with a mission or seek to create followers. Many religious traditions focus on numbers. How many converts? How many followers? How much influence? But Lao Tzu and the ancient sages of India did not think this way. They did not see themselves as the doers. Hence, they had no interest in counting how many people they influenced. They were not trying to change the world, yet the world changed around them. Sometimes people traveled great distances to ask Lao Tzu questions. If an answer arose within him, he would share it. If not, he would honestly say, "I do not know." He had no concern for maintaining an image of wisdom. If the divine voice within him remained silent, he did not force it. Many found this perplexing. How could a sage not have answers? But Lao Tzu did not pretend to know what he did not. He was not there to fulfill expectations, but to remain true to the natural flow of life. This way of being is difficult to grasp because we are so accustomed to doing. We always associate achievement with effort and communication with deliberate speech. But true sages live in a state where actions happen through them, not by them. They are like conduits for the divine, and their presence alone creates harmony and order. Such a life is a happening, not a planned endeavor. It is a silent miracle, a natural unfolding, without the interference of the ego. If we experiment with this approach, we might find glimpses of this state within ourselves. By letting go of the need to do and the desire to achieve, we may begin to experience life as a flow, where things happen effortlessly and existence reveals its own order. If you want peace in your home, don't try to manage it. Just become peaceful yourself. Don't attempt to control or organize things. The one who tries to manage everything never truly brings order. Simply be peaceful. If you desire peace in your home, even if it's a family of 10, you need only to become peaceful yourself. Soon, you'll find that a unique tranquility begins to descend upon your home, through unknown paths, from unseen doors and windows. Those who seemed to be the source of chaos yesterday will start appearing calmer. Just keep becoming peaceful, and within a year, you'll notice that peace surrounds your entire home without you having to do anything externally. The only work you did was within yourself. A peaceful person generates waves of peace around them. Conversely, a restless person constantly radiates waves of restlessness. Scientists have even developed a machine that can detect whether a person radiates peace or unrest. It measures the wavelengths of the radiations emanating from a person's body, and every type of radiation has a distinct wavelength, each with its own impact. Interestingly, the radiation changes instantly based on one's thoughts. Whisper a distressing thought into someone's ear, and the machine will immediately show a shift to a more turbulent radiation. Conversely, share a joyous thought, and the radiation will transform accordingly. Our bodies are like radiators, continuously emitting thousands of different rays. And when these rays reflect back from others, we often think they are the ones angry or upset with us, not realizing we are the source of the radiations that provoke such reactions. When a household has many individuals radiating such restless energy, the disturbance multiplies exponentially. It creates a web of chaos, where negative energies bounce back and forth, amplifying the turmoil. Then, in that chaos, we attempt to manage peace, but our very actions often add to the disturbance. Lao Tzu suggests that by simply becoming peaceful, peace will start spreading around you. However, this is not a guarantee, as even in the presence of enlightened beings like Lao Tzu or Buddha, there can still be those who remain untouched by their peace. For instance, Buddha's stepbrother, Devadatta, lived with him for years yet continually plotted his murder. Despite Buddha radiating profound peace, Devadatta's closed mind remained unaffected. The truth is, peace can only influence those who are receptive. If you keep your inner doors shut, not even the most serene radiations can enter. You have the freedom to live within your own negativity, even if there is an abundance of peace surrounding you. You can hold an umbrella of ignorance even in a shower of nectar. A wise person, like Lao Tzu, may radiate peace, but only those who are willing to receive it will find harmony. Those who are not receptive will not experience that peace. However, the wise person will, at the very least, not contribute to their unrest. They will not amplify the chaos. Even if peace cannot reach them, at least their turmoil will not grow. And this, in itself, is a significant achievement, the impact of which is beyond calculation. The power of the subtle is immense. We learned this when we discovered the atom's power, how the tiniest particle holds unimaginable energy. Similarly, the more subtle one becomes, the more potent they become. The zero, the complete emptiness, holds boundless power. When a wise person reaches this state of total stillness, they become a reservoir of ultimate power, organizing life around them in countless ways. Their influence can extend for thousands of years, touching lives far and wide. While Devadatta plotted against Buddha, there are still countless people today who, even thousands of years later, feel a surge of inner joy just by hearing Buddha's name. His radiations continue to flow, and those who open their hearts to them still receive his peace. Nothing in this universe is ever lost, not even a single ray of light or energy. The rays emitted from a wise person's heart continue to exist, ready to enter any heart that opens to them, even centuries later. This applies not only to wise and enlightened beings, but also to those filled with negativity. When someone harbors a murderous thought, they connect to all similar negative energies that have ever existed or will exist. No act of violence is ever done alone, nor is the attainment of supreme wisdom a solitary achievement. When someone strives for enlightenment, the strength of all enlightened beings flows through them. Likewise, when someone contemplates harm, the collective negativity of all wrongdoers channels into them, making them a vessel of darkness. This is why both murderers and wise beings often express disbelief at their own actions. A murderer might say, "I never imagined I could do this," and there is truth to it. The initial thought might have been theirs, but during the act, they were not alone. The energy of countless others like them supported the action. Similarly, when someone seeks wisdom, they are not walking the path alone. They are lifted by the currents of all the wise ones who came before them. By becoming peaceful, you not only avoid contributing to unrest, but also become a beacon of peace. Your stillness may not always transform others, but it will prevent you from fueling chaos. And if enough people become such beacons, the cumulative effect is beyond imagination. A wise person never claims that knowledge belongs to them, even though they made the effort. practiced discipline, held the intention, and surrendered themselves. When true knowledge is attained, the strength of all the enlightened beings in the universe stands with them. We do not live in this world as isolated individuals. We exist as a point within a vast web of infinite beings. This is why Lao Tzu says that silence can communicate everything, and even through inactivity, order can emerge. An individual is like an atom of consciousness, just as science discovered the atom as the smallest unit of matter. When we dive deeper within ourselves, this inner journey is what religion or spirituality is all about. All of Lao Tzu's teachings point toward this inward journey. When we say that order is not achieved through actions, but through simply being, it means that actions belong to the external world, while being belongs to the inner world. Being is internal, doing is external. Lao Tzu says, "If you purify yourself, purity will spread around you. Don't try to purify others, simply become pure." He is guiding us inward. When he says, "The truth cannot be expressed through words but through silence," he is again directing us inward. The entire teaching is about moving towards the inner self. When someone reaches this inner depth, they access the atom of consciousness, a particle of pure awareness, the atom of consciousness, which has an immense, limitless energy. This atom of consciousness is what we might call the divine, possessing a boundless power. Once we reach this state, this energy itself does all the work. We no longer need to act separately. It might sound strange, but only the powerless need to act forcefully. The powerful achieve through their mere presence. Those who do not know exert effort to accomplish anything, while those who know can achieve through rest. The enlightened can convey profound truths through silence, while those who do not know cannot express anything meaningful, even with countless words. And so the true power lies not in our actions, but in our being. The greatest teachings are not always spoken, and the most profound changes often arise from silence. As we embrace the wisdom of Lao Tzu, let us remember that by finding peace within ourselves, we radiate peace into the world. By simply being, we allow the universe to flow through us, creating harmony without force and sharing wisdom without words. Thank you for joining us on this journey of inner understanding. If you found value in this exploration, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights. Until next time, stay still, stay present, and let your inner light shine.